In the 90s, Playmates Toys made the deepest line of Star Trek action figures in history. My name's Keith, and I'm a collector working towards owning all 284. I've been a Trek fan for almost 35 years, and most people are sick of me talking about it. But somehow I've convinced my old friend Mike to review them with me on Look at My Star Trek Toys! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Look at My Star Trek Toys. I remembered what the show was this time. Whew, good for me.
Well, they don't know that you mess it
Mike?
up next week, Keith. Remember, we went back in time here.
I don't know. Maybe we'll air them out of time. It'll be like that episode of the animated series where we were watching everybody experience the world backwards.
Yep, Keith.
So maybe we'll do 10 and then 9. Am I getting a little younger?
Guys, are you like, Keith, what are you talking about? The animated series? Who's watching the animated series?
Ooh, I'll tell you who's watching the animated series, and that is our patrons. People who are supporting the show at patreon.com/K&M, spell out that and you can get all of our exciting bonus content, including us. Basically, we watch the animated show and make dirty jokes the entire time.
That
because
is accurate.
We're children.
That is accurate.
And who got a chance to hear our juvenile humor, Mike?
Brian Kaufman, Casey Clark, Cloud, Lover, 69, Jason Moe, Andrew Hayes, Show Me the Toonies, Jorge Navoa, and the mysterious Ann, Worf's Boot Shivs, a.k.a. Charles Nivens, CRM, oh, wait for that one, guys, CRM Productions, Charles Babbage, at Grim Toys, and Delusions at Noon. Keith, is it weird if we shoot things out of order and then giggle at inside jokes for episodes that have yet to air?
We're going to air them out of order. I'm making the executive decision
so Customs,
right now.
Here we are for Customs 9, which is
so
Customs
after
11.
Customs 10 comes Customs 9, because is anybody really keeping track? Right? Does anybody have like, well, clearly on my spreadsheet of Customs? No. But speaking of time travel, right? So I actually built this episode out like 2 months ago. So everybody who's on this episode who sent me this stuff, this amazing stuff, I'd be like, I sent you like 6 months ago. But between the time that I prepped this and now, all the 2022 Playmates figures came out. So we had to take a break and deal with those immediately. So that means if you're sending me toys, your customs at lookatmystartrektoys@gmail.com, and I haven't gotten to them yet, it's not because I'm not going to. It's just that our shooting schedule gets a little goofy, and sometimes it takes forever for them to air. But I appreciate getting them. I see them. I'm clocking them, and we will get through them all because it's really fun and really exciting.
You see that? Did you hear that, viewers? Look me deep in the eyes right now. We hear you. We value you.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you never said that to me. You just say that to the subscribers.
Because none of those things are accurate to you.
All right. Well, you know what? It is accurate. Some of these really cool new figures that we got sent from a new friend, Brett, who you would know on Instagram as Star Trek TOS Playmates on Instagram. So definitely go there and follow, because he's got an amazing collection of original series Playmates figures and original series custom figures. So we're going to start here with a handful from the original series of custom figures, starting with Mike, with Matt Decker from the original series, The Doomsday Machine. Look at that figure.
That is awesome.
So awesome, so cool. I think the facial sculpt is amazing. So and what's great is that Brett sent a lot of information about it.
Cool.
Right?
Cool.
So this is not actually made by him. It's made by Robert Rostad, who we've seen Robert's work several times on the show. And the action figure head is actually Dr. Tolian Saran action figure with a hairstyle reshaped. The figure body is original series gold uniform, but the U.S. Constellation insignia and wrist and command wrists were molded onto the action figure.
Oh, cool.
So they had to do a fair amount of custom work there because in the original series, you didn't just have the standard Star Trek Delta, right? Each ship had their own logo. And so he's wearing the logo from his ship from the Constellation, not from the Enterprise, which is why it is different. But I think it looks great. And one of the fun things that Brett does is he has that background there. So he shoots all of his figures in the on like a custom playset. I think that's a printed background on a custom floor or a custom deck there. Really cool. And a really fun episode. If you're looking for an episode of the original series to watch just for giggles, Doomsday Machine is a good one to start with. So yeah, really good work by Robert Rostad, who always does fantastic work. Yeah, thanks for sending it, Brett. Any other thoughts, Michael?
No, I dig it. I think the sculpt of the facial sculpt on whatever head you said that was is really well done. I love the colors of the OG series. One thing I love about the screenshot, just not for nothing, is they did a really good job in that original series of using analog doodads and button pushes and stuff. They get away from that in the newer shows with having just like, because it would be touchpad, which makes more sense, but I really love the analog tech. Anyway, great figure. Good start.
Yeah, no,
I love the black undershirt too. That's something we don't see a lot. That's really cool.
No, and go forward one because we have another angle.
Oh,
and so here he is in it looks like a customized shuttlecraft. Is that? Oh, I should have emailed Brett.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that an adapted shuttlecraft, or is that the original series shuttle, which I don't have, or is that the next gen one with adaptations? Unclear, but great to see the figure in an action shot. I love the stubble. Thought very effective on the paint job there, creating that stubble. So excellent. All right, so we are going to move forward and going to see To Pring from Amok Time. Now,
that's cool.
This is another example of our good friends, customizers. So this is a CRM Customs figure. So Chris did this, but this is Brett's figure that he submitted. Yeah, wow. So that is a head-to-toe custom
3D print, yeah.
3D print from CRM. Really just excellent work. You have the whole the weird cutout of the dress cool. There. Really cool costume. Yeah, that's excellent. I mean, you know, what else can you really say about what Chris
the hair.
does? Chris, we collectively as a people have to figure out how to get him an official license with Star Trek so we can sell these commercially.
I think he's gonna be. I think he'll be all right. Could we get ourselves a job too? I mean, if we're going down that road,
Mike, you have like 6 different jobs.
It's true, a lot of jobs. That's the second we turned over before everyone seeing it was CRM, you can tell he's got a signature, he's got a fingerprint. It's just excellent work. Look at it pops off the screen. Let's look at it. Yeah. So
there's where you can see. What I think is interesting about Chris's work is that it is always uniquely, distinctly Chris, right? He has his style, he has his art form, and yet here we are with the original figures. It fits in seamlessly as well, which is a really impressive skill to be able to be unique and yet fit in with the original line. And
I'll tell you what else makes it really pop too, and this is a great juxtaposition with the other figures. I understand the financial concerns. I totally get it. I'm just saying, in a perfect world where money was not a cost, right? There's something that adds to the uniqueness of the figure when you continue the mold or the sculpt throughout the figure. It's not just a torso or a head or slightly different arms. Like the legs here are absolutely scaled properly to that character. And plus the costuming, they added some depth in the costuming. Chris added some depth to the costuming of having it extend past the legs and have the pegs of the legs go up in, so it looks as if there are real legs attached to a human body there. It adds a really cool, unique touch.
Yep, for sure. And and those Amok Time figures are hard to hard to find. Those are actually pretty rare. I don't have those to the Kirk and the Spock there, so I'm gonna have to get myself one of those
We
so
should
that we
put
can
that
review
Kirk
them
next
officially.
to a jacked up Riker because they both.
Yeah, well, hey, look, Shatner, seasons 1 and 2, like he took his shirt off like every episode.
Why wouldn't you?
Can't be as sexy as O'Brien with the shirt off in our last episode of Deep Space Nine, but nonetheless. So, yeah, so there we are. Fine work from Chris at CRM Customs, of course. Now let's go and take a look at Gary 7 from the episode Assignment Earth.
Where's the cat?
There's
There
a
it
cat.
is, a cat.
I know. There is a cat. So much fun. This is a crazy time travel episode, which I hadn't seen until I got this figure. So I took the time and watched the episode. It was so crazy. And at that point, they were like, we're just pipping and popping back in time just to check things
Yeah,
out.
you got to
And
pip
then
and pop.
and then we find this watcher in the trying to monkey with our timeline. Gary 7. Now
It's got a
this
Bobby
figure,
Donald tie on.
It's got a Bobby Donald tie and the suit. Now this figure was done by Brett at Star Trek TOS Playmates page on Instagram. Go check it out. So he actually did create this figure, and it is made out of the head is from the Indiana Jones 1980s Kenner action figure line.
I love those
And
Kenner figures.
And the body is a Dixon Hill Next Generation action figure. So that suit is painted onto the Picard as Dixon Hill.
Oh,
I think it looks great.
yeah, that's cool. They had to have added some bulk to it. No, it's just painted over it?
I think he just painted over it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but that looks great. And the mini cat figure is Isis. He bought the mini cat figure online on eBay, repainted it, and was created by him.
All right.
So, and you can't now. Of course, Mike, do you know who Isis the cat really looks like?
Charlie 1?
No, there's actually a cat lady who he can see, who takes the form of a cat for
Oh,
everyone
cool.
else.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so in the wonderful '60s fashion.
We've been talking a lot about this recently, looking through some figures. The storytelling in these figures is oftentimes the little details, and just that it's a black cat. What's the big deal? But that clearly, if you're gonna go so as far as to collect these custom figures or these kind of more niche characters, clearly the cat, the cat.
Well, it's part of the character of Gary 7. They're a team, so you can't have one without the other. So yeah, so thank you, Brett, for sending those. Those are all fantastic. Check out Brett's Instagram at Star Trek TOS Playmates page. And now it is off to see some stuff from our good friend Colin Degen, who we just did an entire episode about. And he sent along a whole... Yes! So he said, first, although the Playmates only made Kirk and Spock in their environmental suits, which we reviewed previously, I produced the rest of the away team from the Tholian Web episode.
Of course you did,
Pretty
buddy.
self-explanatory how I built them. I popped the head off of 2 of the environmental suit Kirk figures and popped in the heads of McCoy and Chekov from the figures produced from the original Bridge cardboard play set. So it's just a simple head swap. But again, actually, Colin did the exact same thing, because last week, even though it's 10-9, whatever, he did the entire original series movie cast, filling in that whole... Now we get the complete set here. So if you're going to do a Tholian Web diorama or a display, this is how you can get the full cast, which... it's the type of thing that scratches like my sense of like complete the picture, finish the line, that I find very satisfying. So you can see it all there. Terrific work by Colin. And so we have McCoy, and then if you keep going, we'll see Chekov. He did the same thing. So you have a complete set, and I love the tie-dye background.
Yeah, that's cool. It works. It fits in with the scheme.
It's very, very sparkly. And they're standing on a pot light. Oh yeah, you turn that on. You can light those things from below.
Yeah, of course. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So, it's sometimes the customizing is like this crazy top to bottom, wild amount of work. Sometimes just a head swap, but it's very effective
Hmm.
when it works. It's very seamless, and that's how you can really expand your line. And you could easily, you go from 300 to 600 of these things, and they look great, and they're terrific. So we continue with he says, in addition, I created a Kirk from City on the Edge of Forever that has more normal human stance and articulation
That's
than
cool.
they use with the Playmates Star Trek figure from the 90s. So I have this figure in the 90s, and this was one of the Warp Factor later series that had him in like the weird like leg splayed effect,
Mm.
and without any articulation. And so Colin fixed it here with this, which is really remarkable. Hold on, Phil, for a second. Let me go grab the other figure so you can see exactly what he did.
Alrighty. Well, I don't know this episode, but I gotta tell you, anytime you can show me Kirk in some just casual jeans, digging it. Although I never really, I don't get what his pants are down there, but he's got the cool hair doodad. We got a Clark Kent hair going. It's, I'm curious why Spock's got no belt on, but regardless, well, I wasn't the costume designer on the show. Keith, you're back.
I'm back, and so now, so you see what Colin did there. With he's able to somehow to like get the arm articulation, elbow, and I don't know how he did that, as well as the legs. But this is the figure that Playmates put out in the Warp Factor. This is the figure that he fixed,
Mm.
right? Which has the weird like leg stance like that, no knee, no elbow, no shoulder articulation whatsoever. So this is not a creating a figure that doesn't exist. It's fixing a figure
Right.
from its original flaws, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's really
So
cool.
here's how we did it. He used the legs from a Unification Spock, and the arms from a Dr. Noonien Soon action figure, with painted upper arms from a Sheriff Worf figure from A Fistful of Datas. That's crazy. So the shoulders are Worf, the arms are Soong, and the legs are Spock. So cool.
Yeah, he Frankenstein that.
He sure did. He said I never created a Spock figure from that episode because I ended up accidentally damaging his coat during the process. Plus, I wanted to use his wool cap for a different figure. More on that in a future email. So we have more to look forward to from Colin here. God, I mean, the amount of work and creativity it took to just fix the articulation on that figure, but at the end of the day, it makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
It genuinely is improved. So that's cool. So lastly, we have a little bonus from our good friend Jeffrey Davis. So a couple of episodes back, or at this point a couple of months ago, we showed one of his photos that he took in. He takes the figures out into real environments and creates these amazing dioramas and photographs them beautifully. So he sent another one. He's a third plan for September. So I got this in August. And this, of course, is Kirk fighting the Gorn out here. Look at that. Look at that shot.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
That is, now these are Mego figures, not Playmates figures to make this, that he just incorporated into this picture here. But he took the photo near Laramie, Wyoming. God, Wyoming is gorgeous. Went there when I was a kid. It says we were on a road trip and I was scouting for a desolate scene. But he said the only custom work that he did, Mike, is the stone. So he made that's not a real rock. That's a stone that he made out of styrofoam.
Oh, that's cool.
Look how good that looks.
That's really cool.
That's incredible. I mean, I've seen stone being made out of styrofoam in a lot of set designs in theater, especially in community theater. It's a great way to do stone work. You sort of melt the styrofoam a little bit
painted
around
really
the
well
edges,
too, and shaded correctly.
And then paint it and shade it. But that is flawless. I would have never known that wasn't a real rock. And yeah, so once again, that's, we spent a lot of time thinking and talking about the creativity and the all the things that you can do with these simple plastic figures, right? If you are creative,
Mm-hmm.
you're adapting the figures, you're putting the figures in different places. They're really just take them out of the package. They're the starting point of all the cool things that you can do with these figures. And I think this type of photography is one of the coolest ways to use them.
I 100% agree. In fact, I'd love to see more of it. Let's do another ep of just like interesting, creative photography using the figures, because one of my favorite pieces of artwork I got from the Upper West Side art fair, they do on the weekends, sort of is this person who takes sort of Micro Machine style, this artist, which I can't remember the name off the top of my head, Micro Machine style little figures, different, men, women, animals, different things, and have them do creative things in large scale. So they have these little figures, and I have one, it's a guitar, and it's a super macro shot of the guitar tuning pegs with this little teeny figure holding on and trying to tune the peg. It's just, it plays with scale, it plays with all kinds of thing, and it's
Perspective.
I don't know why, but it really speaks to me, that kind of pop art. And so photography like this, awesome, really cool.
So cool. Yeah, no, definitely. Since we have now declared we're going to do an entire episode about this, if you're watching this and you have taken photographs like this, or you'd like to give it a try, send them to lookatmystartrektoys@gmail.com. And once we have enough of them, we will definitely do an episode.
I bet you there's someone out there too, because, they make these really crazy apps now that make it much easier to accomplish stop motion animation. I bet you we got some people out there that have stop motion some shots like this.
To send us that too. That's really, really fun. Let's look at mystartrektoys@gmail.com. We'll be very excited to show them. Yeah, well, gosh, so much exciting stuff. I think the custom episodes might be some of my absolute favorite episodes.
100%.
So keep them coming. Also, to look at mystartrektoys@gmail.com. People, we have seen your stuff before. New people, don't be shy. Send it our way. We'll be very excited to show them on the show. It is a joy for me. So thank you everybody for watching. If you haven't already, give us a like, give us a subscribe. You can join our Patreon at patreon.com/K&M, spell out that and. We've got a whole bunch of fun bonus material up there, and we're chitting and chatting with you as well. So that is really fun. So thank you so much. This, especially the customs, wouldn't exist without you guys, without everybody watching this and contributing and being a part of our little community here. And it's a pretty nice community. Like, these are all really nice people.
Yeah,
that's really
we really
fun.
lucked out.
Good creative Star Trek people. So
hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs just because that's where we set our loftiest goal. Hopefully one day we'll exceed that, but we never thought we'd get there, but it's one of the benchmarks we set for ourselves, so help us get there. Listen, we appreciate you. We appreciate your time. We've got other shows for you to check out. Keith and Mike watch Deep Space Nine, and the other one, K&M Geekly. Guys,
that other show we do every single week?
Keith and I are hurting. Thanks. Let's get out of here.
All right. Till then, this has been Look at My Star Trek Toys!